Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Islanders Never Say Die podcast. I'm your host, Senex, and with me today, as always, is our NHL analyst and expert, the grumpy old man. They say there's no shame in his game. He's always the same.
That's me.
That's right, Grumpy. That is you. Before we get into our show, we always have to go over a little bit of housekeeping. If you guys enjoy the content over here, and even if you don't, please like, subscribe, turn on notifications, comment, so we can juice up that algorithm and get this show out to as many people as possible. We want everybody watching. Think we usually shoot to have this show every Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're a little bit early today, a little early start. And yeah, that's pretty much it. But yeah, Grumpy, we've had some big news in the hockey world, right? Carolina Hurricanes, Stanley Cup champions.
Who predicted that, X? I think there are only two people who predicted it.
Me and you. You and Wayne Gretzky, the great one.
Me and Wayne Gretzky, the only two.
If you listen to what I had said, I said if they continue to play Freddie Anderson, they're not winning. If they take him out, they are going to win.
I believe your exact words were, well, they got Bussy in there. I think I might be changing my bet to Carolina.
You know what that means, right? If they kept Freddie Anderson in, they had no shot to win. If they take him out, they're going to win.
Let's just say you picked Vegas.
I did. Okay, only because you're telling me that you think that if they would have left Freddie Anderson in, I'm going to let you know if they would have left Freddie Anderson in, you would have been wrong with your prediction. You would have been wrong. They would have lost to Vegas. Absolutely. That guy is a sieve. You might as well call him Zidane's kid in that.
All I'm going to say is that I was right. And let's be honest, I've been on the Carolina hype train for quite a while.
3 years. 3 years at least. At least.
And I'm glad to be finally proven right.
Yeah. It was about time they won. Jordan Staal is your Conn Smythe winner.
Deserved.
Absolutely deserved. Only player in NHL history to score in 5 straight NHL Finals games, other than Mike Bossy.
Well, yeah, there you go.
That's what I meant to say. Oh, it said joint. Did I say only? I meant to say joint.
You did
Sorry.
say.
I meant to say joint. So, yeah, incredible performance by him. Congrats to Carolina.
I mean, think about it. It's funny because a former member of the podcast, it's funny. He was so adamant. Everything that was going Carolina's way, he'd say, oh, this is that. And I had forgotten what he said before the series started. And then it came back to me. He thought that Vegas was going to shit can Carolina. I said, absolutely not. I said, I think Carolina is a better team. And Carolina was the better team. They ground Vegas down just like they ground everybody else down. They only lost 3 games the whole postseason. 3 games. And who says they're not a deserving champion, it just fools. So this
Now that said, I think they had a very easy road to the finals.
that's what happens when you're the number 1 seed.
No, and I know that. I'm just saying I think they had a very easy road to the finals. I think that did contribute a little bit, not all the way, because I mean they got steamrolled their first game in the finals.
Okay.
I think it contributed to them winning a little bit.
They swept Ottawa.
They swept
Philadelphia.
Philly.
They swept Philadelphia.
They swept them both.
Ottawa. They lost 1 game to Montreal.
Correct.
And Montreal was hot as a firecracker. Montreal
was going game 7s though. I mean, they were playing all the way through.
But here's the thing. Carolina shut them down.
Sure. I think they were tired.
They won. The only reason that Montreal won 1 game on them is because Carolina had like an 11 or 12 day break in between games.
Correct.
That's the only reason they won a game.
Yep.
And then they lost the first game to Vegas.
Yes.
They had 2 overtime games. They split on those, and that was it. That was the end of the series.
Wait, hold on. What happened after that second overtime game? What happened?
Freddie Anderson got hurt, and Brandon Bussey came in.
Got hurt. Yeah.
Everyone acknowledged that he had a knee injury.
Okay.
And that's why Bussey came in. Okay. But here's the thing. Carolina was dynamic.
Him getting injured then was the best thing that could have happened for Carolina.
The biggest problem Carolina has had the last couple of years, besides Freddie Anderson, that we've acknowledged that. I mean, he was good enough to win, but they didn't have anything but like 1 line scoring. This year their second line was their best line all playoffs. They were the best line in hockey. Stankoven, Hall, and Blake.
Yep.
And then at the end of the series, you saw that the first line, Aho, Svechnikov,
picking up a little bit, yeah.
Jarvis, all of a sudden started picking up. That series was over. They wore out Vegas. I was concerned Vegas was maybe too big and was going to, be able to run those guys.
Yeah.
Was not the case. Just was not the case. Carolina was by far the best team in the league this year. They didn't lose 2 games in a row since January of this year. I mean, that's an awful long time to go without losing 2 games in a row. Everyone can say whatever they want about Colorado, but if you remember, Colorado was really good to start the year, but I was not impressed by them at the end.
Yeah.
It wasn't a surprise to me that Vegas beat them. I didn't think Colorado was that good. They're good offensively. They're terrible defensively, and their goaltending sucks as well.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone got on the Vegas hype train because they beat Colorado, the great big Colorado team. Carolina would have steamrolled Colorado as well. Steamrolled them because they play defense.
Could have.
Carolina's by a very deserving champion.
Yeah, I think I'm not taking anything away from them. I absolutely think they deserve the championship. I think the big key contributing factor was the fact that Freddie Anderson wasn't in net.
It was also because they wore other teams out. And that's a hard game to play. There were no passengers on that Carolina team, not a one. How long can you keep that up? I don't know. I think it's difficult. It's funny because Tulsky, who's the general manager, Eric Tulsky, said that Florida played the same version of game that Carolina does, but they took it to another level. They were more talented. Florida has more talented players on the team than Carolina does.
They're banged up, though.
Yeah, this year they were banged up, and you think, going 3 straight years to the Cup Finals,
tough.
I think they were just kind of worn down a little bit.
I think, yeah, they're definitely going to be a team that it's going to take them a little bit to get back.
No, I think they'll be back next year.
You think they'll be back in the Stanley Cup Finals?
That's what I mean.
It's going to take them a little while to get back to the finals, is what I'm saying.
Okay, for Florida, they need to settle their goaltending situation.
Bobrovsky's gone.
But he's a UFA.
He's gone.
What's he? 37, 38 years old.
Yeah. That still they need another goaltender. They absolutely do.
I mean, unless you want a haircut, unless he takes a big haircut from $10 million a year, he won't be back. Tarasov was not good for them. I thought he started off well for Florida, but as the season went on, he kind of petered out. You can always get a goalie on the market, though, somewhere.
Yeah.
I mean, Brandon Bussey was a streety this year, picked up by Carolina. He was a UFA street player.
He made some big saves in the final. Some
He
big
was
saves.
good.
Yeah.
He was good. He was good.
I don't think he was great, but he was good.
He was certainly good enough.
Yeah.
And, just think about it. He hadn't played in what? 2 months?
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
It was Freddie Anderson playing all the time. It was a long time. And he came in and he was great. That's what you want from a backup goaltender. He was really, really good. But their defense was outstanding. Their forward group, they just roll those 4 lines. I've said it 100 times on this show. 1,000 times. Well, not 1,000, but at least 100 times.
100 times.
Yeah, 100 billion, trillion, zillion times. I wish the Islanders played like Carolina.
Yeah. Yep.
That's the way the Islanders used to play in the Wayback Machine. That's how they used to play. Now, of course, the athletes today are better than the athletes from, 45 years ago. But that relentless drive, you have to have it inside of you to get that type of production and that type of commitment that Carolina has. The Islanders used to have that in the Wayback Machine. They really did. And these guys have been together for a long time. A long time. Is success going to spoil the Carolina Hurricanes? I don't think it will, but
they don't have players like that on their team.
But you never know what happens. Once you achieve your goal, the hunger usually isn't there as much the next year. I think that's fair. But we're going to see. And let's give kudos to Rod Brindamore. Got to give kudos to him. Great job as a head coach. There are some people who listen to this podcast who used to listen to it, who just always shredded Carolina. They can't even win an Eastern Conference game. Okay, they got swept by Florida. It was only 4 goals. 4 games, they lost 4 1-goal games. And they were all tight. They got out goaltended. That's what happened. I even said it this year. I still don't think they have the goalie. But they put their money into other parts of the roster as opposed to the goaltender.
Their defense, so other than goaltending, their defense is really good.
They bring in Keandre Miller, right? Borderline bust for the Rangers. He comes in. He's a staple of the Carolina Hurricanes team.
Yep.
They know what they're doing with defensemen, period. I never liked Shane Gotchespierre. He comes to Carolina, and he actually plays team defense. He's really good. He's always been really good offensively. He was the number 1 power play guy for them this year. Nishkin was really good.
Yep.
Slavin, fantastic. When they let go of guys like Dougie Hamilton, who's done nothing since leaving Carolina,
means they're finished.
Brady Shea, Brett Pesce. You ever hear from those guys once they leave Carolina? If they're trying to trade you a defenseman or letting defensemen go, buyer beware. I said that before on the show. They know what they're doing. They're a really well-run organization. The players. Just a couple of years ago, they went after Gensel. Didn't want to stay. Rantanen didn't want to stay. So what did they do? Prior to that, they just stuck with their guys. They realized they needed to do things a little bit differently. And it turned out well for them. And here's the thing. They have all their draft picks. All of them, somehow. Go figure.
They're having a good GM. Go
figure, right? They're not pissing away draft picks.
Nope.
A team that's at the top of the heap isn't pissing away draft picks for a Braden Schenn, a 34-year-old Braden Schenn, an Andre Palat.
To just try and squeak into the playoffs.
Yeah. That's not what Carolina's about. Well-run organization. Kudos to them.
Yep.
The Metro Division has a Stanley Cup champion.
And I did want to put something else up here, Grumpy. One of our fans had something to say.
Drew says, guess who became your 2026 NBA championships? And a prediction I got correct on this very show, the New York Knicks LFG.
He's trying to sound like Brady. That's what it looks like to me. Stealing Brady's catchphrase, LFG.
I don't think so. I don't think he's that creative.
Oh! But yes, the New York Knicks are NBA champions.
Honestly, I can't. Basketball's horrible.
It is pretty hard to watch.
hard to watch. And San Antonio is stupid. They lost that series more than the Knicks won it. They had opportunities, and they just do. Young teams do dumb things. Guys who were coached by some 34-year-old, I don't know what he was, water boy before then. No idea. No idea what they're doing. You blow a 29-point lead in a championship series, you ain't winning that series.
Nope.
I mean, they
blew multiple leads. I think they led in every game by like double digits.
Yeah, but you know what? They just launched threes. That's their offense. Launch threes. They got Wembayama. Why is that guy not down? I have a theory. You want to know why guys just launch threes now? Because it's hard work to go down low and to be physical and have to battle guys down beneath the basket to get your opportunities to score. In that game where they lost when they had a 29-point lead, they launched 8 straight threes, went 0 for 8. At some point in time, don't you call timeout and say, hey, guys, drive the basket. Make them foul you. Make them make a play to beat you.
Do something different from what you're doing.
And that coach, I was watching the game. It was the last game I watched. I wouldn't watch the other ones. They had a 12-point lead, 10-point lead, 9-point lead. I'm a call timeout. Call timeout. Call timeout. I think he
probably only got to 4.
He waited till it got to 4 points, and then he called timeout. But then the game's over. You need to strategically use those timeouts to stop runs. And they kept on shooting those threes, and they didn't even run clock. They were shooting it with 12, 13, 14 seconds left on the shot clock, and they're launching threes and clanking. They didn't deserve to win. But basketball is a terrible, terrible product. It's hard to watch.
Is there any reason their viewership is down the drain?
It's terrible, just terrible. That's enough of that crap. Let's talk more about the NHL. I'm done with that.
I just figured I would go ahead and bring that there. But Grumpy, we got some big events going on next week. We have the NHL Draft.
NHL Draft next Friday, I believe, right? The 26th. Isn't that next Friday, the 26th? I'm
pretty sure it's next Friday. Let me go ahead and look, Grumpy. It is next Friday, the 26th.
Next 26th. So I'm excited about the NHL Draft. Tell you we're going to be talking about. X is going to put up Sportsnet's draft rankings.
Yeah, they got the top 100 prospects. I mean, I figure we'll just go through probably the top 20.
We're going to go through guys. Yeah, we can do that. And we're going to really touch on guys that I think the Islanders should be looking at. Okay. And I have stuff from the Athletic, Corey Pronman and Scott Wheeler, do pretty in-depth breakdown of these players. And we'll see who potentially fits for the Islanders and, who doesn't. And we'll see who might be available at number 13. I think the Islanders will pick at 13. I don't think that your pal Darsh is creative
enough to make a trade,
to make a deal where he actually acquires assets. I don't know. Maybe you go in that room and you don't want to acquire assets. I have no idea. But it's been really, really bad. The more I look at him and I see other teams making moves and him doing nothing, I'm done with him. I'm absolutely done with Darsh. Done with Darsh.
Down with Darsh. Anyway, do you want to hop into this list, Grumpy?
Sure. Gavin McKenna is probably going to go first overall to Toronto. I don't care that they have Stenberg ahead of him. I know that Scott Wheeler has Gavin McKenna as number 1, and Corey Pronman has who's it? Chris Reed? Oh, sugar. Let me see. I got it right here. Sorry, X.
It's okay.
Chase Reed. I'm sorry. Chase Reed is number 1 player. He has 3 defensemen at the top. I disagree with Pronman here. He has Chase Reed, Albert Smits, and Keaton Verhoff as his top 3 defensemen. Keaton Verhoff has dropped in the rankings because he wasn't as good this year at North Dakota State or North Dakota. And his skating is not. It's just average skating. We've seen big guys who have average skating before, Griffin Reinhart. So I think I don't think he's going in the top 3, but I don't think he'll be available for the Islanders, right? I mean, I think that's fair to say that he's not going to be available for the Islanders.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's my biggest concern is who's going to be available when the Islanders come up for selection. That's what the whole thing's about for me. Who's going to be available? So it's not going to be Stenberg. It's not going to be McKenna, who I think is going to be number one. Caleb Malhotra, I think we both agree, is going to go to Vancouver at number 3. I don't think he's the third-ranked player.
Correct.
But he's going to go number 3 because his daddy is coaching Vancouver now. So you're going to see him with his dad.
A little bit of Nepo time.
And it's not like Caleb Malhotra sucks either. He's been rising up the boards, but it's too much of a fit, honestly. That's about, you can put that one down in pen.
Yes.
I think first 3. And here's the thing. I think San Jose could surprise and take Chase Reed at number 2 over Stenberg. I think they could do that. They need defensemen. The one thing, they're really good. Their forward lines are pretty stacked with young players. So if they go Stenberg, okay, that's just an embarrassment of riches there. They need defensemen. They need defensemen who can move the puck, defensemen who can actually play defense, and Chase Reed would be that guy for them. So it would not surprise me if they took Chase Reed at number 2. Maybe they trade down. They made a trade down today. They picked Kesserling. They picked up Kesserling from Buffalo and dropped from number 20 to 27. Pick up a young defenseman who maybe just needed a change of scenery. Was actually pretty good for Buffalo when he was able to play. He's had an injury history, but that's what good teams do. So maybe that's okay. Well, if we pick up Kesserling here, maybe we're not going to go for Reed at 2. Maybe we are going to stick with Stenberg. I don't know. Anything is possible, right?
Yep.
Vigo Bjork, they have ranked number 4. He's ranked lower on both lists of Wheeler and Pronman. He's tiny though. He's 5'9", like 177 pounds. I don't think he's a fit for the Islanders. He's not going to last to the Islanders, so not really concerned there. Then we have a Keaton Verhoff. I think he'll go in the top 10. I don't think the Islanders are going to have a shot on him. He's a big physical defenseman, not a great skater. We're not going to talk about him. Chase Reed is going to go higher than number 6. I guarantee you he's never getting past the Rangers at 5. I think he's probably going to go. I predict number 2 to San Jose. That's where I think he's going. Who knows, but that's what I'm saying. Another one here, Carson Carroll's another guy. He's going to be gone in the top 5 also. I think you're going to see him go early. Another big physical left shot defenseman from Prince George. No shot by the Islanders. Number 8, they have Daxon Rudolph. He's a right shot defenseman. He fills a need for the Islanders. He's not making it to the Islanders. Number 9 is Albert Smits, 6'3", 205, big left shot defenseman. Not going to make it to the Islanders. Number 10, Alexander Command. That's a little high for him compared to what other teams have. I think he will be available when the Islanders pick at 13, but I don't think that's what they're looking for. I don't see that.
They need defense.
Well, you know what? Okay. They need everything, honestly. Sure. And if you're looking at defense, they need right shot defense.
Correct.
Last year they drafted 2. Their whole farm system is all left shot defensemen. There's not one right shot defenseman in the Islanders organization. Not a one. But now we're going to touch on some of the guys who I think could potentially be available for the Islanders. First one is Tynan Lawrence. X, you want to read up his little write-up there before I touch on what Brahman and Wheeler say? And I'm going to say
6 foot, 183-pound left shot center from Boston University. A two-way center with better than secondary scoring upside. Lawrence ended his season on a high note, representing Canada at the U18 Worlds, contributing 2 goals and 4 assists in 5 games. NHL projection, second-line center.
Okay.
Great. Did you hear that reading ability, Grumpy?
It is incredible, X. I liked it. Proman likes him. He says his skating, everything. Okay, here's the thing. Here's the thing with the guys I'm going to talk about who I think are possible fits for the Islanders. Usually they're all going to have above average compete. I think there's only one guy that we're going to be talking about who doesn't have above average compete, and it's a guy who I really like for the Islanders. That being said, Proman, everyone thinks that he's an excellent skater. and he can really move around the ice, right? He brings a lot of pace and energy to his shifts. He's very strong on the puck, and he can create chances on the move. He has vision and decision making are not the best, and he can force a lot of plays. He projects as a two-way third line center. I think he's going to be a top 6 center. That's what I think he's going to wind up being at the end of the day, is a top 2 center, a top 2 line center. And again, he played for Boston University. He was not as good this year. Earlier in the year, he was projected to be like a top 3 pick, maybe top 3 overall. And I think that he struggled with that. I mean, the fact that, I think he's somebody who has he's got a natural ability to play. You would like to see him be a little bit better than he was this year. But I could see the Islanders, if he is there at 13, I see him as somebody that they could pick.
Okay.
Their forward group needs a lot of help. Young, skilled offensive players. They need that in this organization. That's what they need. I mean, we'll see if we're going to see if he's available, but that's a guy I think could be available for the Islanders at 13.
Realistically, how long do you think it would take somebody like Lawrence to crack into the big team?
2-3 years.
Okay.
I mean,
you don't think obviously he's not going to be like Schaefer to start right away, but you don't think it'd be maybe a year and he could come up?
No.
Okay.
Remember, this is the team you're going to have for the next 2 years.
Very true. Very true.
So no one's going anywhere. And you know what? There's nothing wrong with that. If you're going to let the guys ferment in the minors, make sure they're ready to come up. That used to be Detroit's thing. They used to have them overcooked down in the minors. So when they came up, they were just ready to play. That's what they did. Okay, number 12, Ryan Lynn. 5'11", 180 pounds.
I read this. Right shot defenseman, Vancouver Giants, WHL. Lynn is a transitional defenseman and power play quarterback. He added more of a shooting approach to his game offensively this season, producing 14 goals and 43 assists. In the process, Lynn is committed to the University of Denver next fall. NHL projection, second pairing defenseman.
Okay. I think
production. That's good production.
Yeah. He's very smart. Everyone says he's really, really smart. He's got great vision, and he can run the power play. He's a puck mover, right? Okay. The Islanders don't need a number 1 power play quarterback. They got one already.
Yes, that's true.
The problem that I have with Ryan Lynn is he's small, and it's not that he's short. His frame is not conducive to putting a lot of weight on. He's thin. He's never going to be somebody who's going to be a big and physical guy. And I'm not saying you have to be physical. I don't think he's the greatest skater in the world. And I think if you're small like that, you have to be able to be a really good skater. I think his defense is going to be an issue for him at the next level. Don't we have enough of that? Like I said, he has everything except the size. He's a right shot defenseman, though, and the Islanders could lean in that direction. He is a possibility for them at number 13. Absolutely a possibility for them. I'm not looking at – I don't think – X, do you think the Islanders should look for position in this draft or any draft, actually?
I think that at this point in time, I think it depends on a couple of things. If we're moving bigger name players, it shows me that you're in a rebuild, and at that point in time, you just look for the next best available player.
That's what I don't think positions have anything to do with it. You have to take
approach.
Yeah, you have to have the best player, period, as somebody that you're looking at.
Yeah. It's not like you're one position away from winning a cup, or you're one player here away from winning. You need a lot. You have a lot of holes. So
agree.
I would say next best player, pick them.
100% agree with that, Mr. X.
And this guy, this Ethan Belchez. I butchered his name. This seems like somebody that's right up Freedom's alley right here. 6'5", 230 pounds, left shot winger from Windsor Spitfires, OHL. He absolutely big guy. That's right up Freedom's alley. He likes the big guys, big physical guys. Belchez is a hulking, see, power winger and goal scorer. He's hard to defend against and produced 34 goals and 25 assists this year for the Spitfires. Belchez is committed to Michigan State, NHL projection second line winger.
He's a big physical power forward.
Absolutely.
His skating is below average,
which is, I mean, to be expected for a bigger guy.
It takes a lot longer for these big power forwards to develop.
Correct.
And it could be that he's, never a great skater. That would not be surprising.
Yeah.
Couldn't you see him taking Anders Lee's spot on the power play, though?
Somebody who stands in front of the net and deflects shots, yeah.
He plays a heavy game, and he uses his big frame to win battles and dislodge pucks from opponents. He's great around the net. He shows the skill to create in tight and has a shot that he can finish from range. His playmaking and skating are fine, but they aren't a selling point of his game. He projects as a top 6 winger who teams will love to have in the playoffs. Again, above average shot and above average compete. Okay, everybody that we've talked about so far has above average compete, which I think the Islanders absolutely are looking for. I think that's what they're looking for. And I think that, a lot of people are saying he could be like a Matthew Nyes type player who's with Toronto. I think any Islander fans would be happy with that. He is a possibility. He could go a little bit earlier. I almost think this is almost like a 12-player draft, and the Islanders are picking 13th. But, any one of these guys could fall. It's just somebody takes a flyer on somebody else.
Or if somebody gets a position of need as opposed to, next on the board. Could absolutely happen.
Very possibly.
Yeah.
So that's somebody that Ethan Belchez is somebody that the Islanders absolutely will be looking at, I feel, come this draft. Like I said, left wing. And they looked at quite a few left wings.
Yep.
They looked at, when they were doing the interview process at the Combine, 6 of them interview with the Islanders. So that they're looking left wing.
That's right. And then the next up we have here is number 14, Wyatt Cullen. 6'1", 183 pound left shot winger, USNTDP U18 USHL. Cullen is one of the youngest players in the draft, September 8th birth date. He continues to grow taller and add strength. His offensive upside wins out for me. Cullen led the USNTDP with 16 goals, 29 assists. He's a University of Minnesota commit, NHL projections second line winger.
Okay. Islanders could absolutely use that. I think they did a Combine interview with a lot of players who were at the Combine saying, who was impressed them the most. Wyatt Cullen was a high name high on that list, where people were surprised how good he was. Like, he's got the whole toolbox.
Oh, wow.
There's nothing he can do. Now, his skating is average.
But he seems like he's young, though. So, that's something he can absolutely develop.
Exactly. And
he taking a risk on him,
He came on this year. He might be available for the Islanders at number 13.
Yeah.
And, right now he's 6'1", 180. He's still a boy, of course. He struggles to finish his chances. Okay, but he's one of the youngest players, right?
Yep.
He had a massive growth spurt in the last 12 months. I think that your production usually comes as you fill out, right? As you get a little bit bigger.
And especially if you've had a growth spurt, it's still probably like growing into his body a little bit.
Right.
So.
Plowman says that he competes well enough. He's not very physical and can play too cute of a game, but he wins puck battles and gets to the net to create chances. Cullen projects as top 6 winger. He gives him average hockey sense. You can get away with that on the wing. You can. Above average compete, and his shot right now is below average. They compare him to Nick Schmaltz. Nick Schmaltz was a good player. Okay, Nick Schmaltz is a really, really good player. He's also Matt Cullen's son. Like I said, this kid has really grown up. When he came to the national program, he was 5'5", 120 pounds.
Wow.
Now he's, like I said, 6'1", 183.
He definitely shot up.
Right. I mean, he could be a top 10 player also, though, right? Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Become a top 10 player. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
Is that going to happen? I don't know, but it certainly could happen.
Yeah. Anything can happen.
But he's somebody that I think the Islanders, if he's available, the Islanders are going to look long and hard at a guy like that.
Yeah.
Right? He's a guy who shot up draft boards. So, you're expecting that. Also, I did want to say one thing about Tynan Lawrence. I didn't mention, do his breakdown. Above average skating, puck skills, compete. The only thing that was below average is his hockey sense. Like I said, he struggled at BU this year. That could have something to do with it. But, I mean, all these guys that we're looking at, they're not going to be Matthew Schaefer's. Okay?
No.
I think that's fair to say, right?
He's one and only.
Right. One and only.
Yeah. And the next player we have here is number 15, Nikita Klepov. 6 foot, 180-pound left shot winger. Saginaw Spirit OHL. Klepov will be tasked with paying more consistent attention to his detail off the puck defensively, but his offensive upside is undeniable. He produced 37 goals and 60 assists. Wow. In 67 games this year, Klepov is headed to Michigan State, NHL projection second-line winger. That's a lot of points. A lot.
Where did he play, X?
Saginaw Spirit.
Saginaw Spirit. Okay. So
is that what I said?
I don't think you said. That's why I asked. Maybe you did.
I think I did. I probably butchered the name of it. Saginaw Spirit. That's who he played for.
I feel he'll absolutely be there for the Islanders. I mean, he's, like I said, he's a highly skilled playmaker. He will be there for them. He will be there for them. He was voted in the coaches poll as the most dangerous player in the goal area and the best shootout shooter in the Western Conference of the Ontario Hockey League. And he was also named a OHL first-line player. He's 6 foot even, 180 pounds. Now, would I be looking at him over a Cullen or a Belchez or a Lawrence? Probably not. Right? Probably not leaning that direction. But he absolutely could be somebody who, they could be looking at. I mean, without a doubt. I just don't know if he's going to – I mean, he'll be there. And it's something that they might consider, absolutely consider. So it could happen. It could happen for him.
Then number 16 here we have Adam Novotny, 6'1", 205 pounds, left shot winger from Peterborough's Pete's OHL. Novotny, like some of the other high-end forwards on my list, has a shoot-first approach. He produced 34 goals and 31 assists in his first season playing in the CHL for the Peterborough Petes. NHL projection, second-line winger.
He's a guy. I think he will be available for the Islanders. He's a guy that I would love for the Islanders. He gets above average skating, high-end shot. His puck skills are average. He's the one guy. His hockey sense is below average. This is all according to Prodman. And his compete is average. He's the only guy that we're looking at who has an average compete level. Okay. Prodman says he's a great skater and with a quick burst in his first few steps to pressure even faster NHL defenders. He has a good stick skills. He's not a natural playmaker. That's okay. If you're a goal scorer, you don't need to be a playmaker. But Novotny has a great shot and can score from the dots and tight effectively. He works hard enough. He isn't very physical, but he can be reliable off the puck, and coaches could trust him in a lot of situations. He rejects as a top 6 winger. That's a guy that, he's a guy that I like. I've said that, I think, forever, that I like Adam Novotny. Wheeler has very similar description to him. He's a pro-built winger with a very short but powerful skating stride and legit speed. He's decently skilled offensively and plays the game with confidence as a shooter. He's already strong, sturdy, and stocky with a thick lower half, built to absorb bumps and play through contact. That's what you're looking for, right? From a forward like that, particularly come playoff time. I mean, because let's be honest, the Islanders are not going to be missing the playoffs forever.
No, eventually they'll squeak in.
And you want guys who are built for playoff hockey.
Absolutely.
He has a feel for the game and enough smarts on and off the puck and a good sense of where to go, to be and go. Though those attributes are more average. He can drive the net and make plays to the interior for himself, but also functions well with his line mates as a catch and release, push and pop player. He has a pro curl and drag wrister and good hit. Those are always tough shots. You ever know those guys who do that little curl and drag thing? I think it fools goaltenders all the time. And those shots always seem like they're getting ready to go in.
Is that like the that's not like the Datsuk dangle, is it? Where he kind of like takes it back and then
kind of like leans it forward and then kind of curls it back and then
snaps. Like you go forward and then okay. Like Pavel Datsuk used to do that all the time with his he used to shoot like that a lot and then kind of like flip it over the keep.
Right. And he has good hands and tight to his body. He can make plays off his backhand. He breaks up plays and works. He's committed to playing the right way and supporting the play in the right spots. He's just a good player and plays a competitive game for a young player. There's a lot to like about his combination of tools, and he's going to have a long pro career. He's a player, and his shot generation has been really strong across multiple levels. Some wonder if there's enough playmaking IQ to be more than a 20-goal, 40-point middle six winger. But Wheeler thinks that he can become more valuable and belongs in the teens of this draft class. He wonders if he's maxed out. Maybe he doesn't have as much upside. I don't know. In the OHO coaches poll, he ranked as the third best shooter, the third hardest shooter, and the second most dangerous in the goal area. That's a guy that I like. Like I said, and when I say I like, I have not seen any of these guys play but short clips.
Based off of reading and their highlights, you like them.
And here's the thing. I say that every year. When you watch somebody like Schaefer, like I did last year, I was like, they have to get Schaefer because his tape just popped.
Yeah.
His tape popped. That's why we had to get Matthew Schaefer. I was adamant at that. And I always put the caveat, I've never seen Wheeler, Pronman, the guys at Sportsnet, Hockey News, they've seen these guys play. Us ham and eggers down in the States, how many junior hockey games have you watched?
You don't go to every single one, Grumpy. I watch every weekend.
I watch some of the, like the World Juniors.
Yeah.
That's why I know Chase Reed is good.
That's about it, though.
Right. It's not like I'm watching the Windsor Spitfires on a Thursday night.
No.
I'm not doing that. I'm just not. These are just not guys that I'm just not looking at these guys. So everything that I say, who knows who the Islanders are going to pick? I just look at traits and things that the Islanders could need or things that they look for. And that kind of gives me, okay, these are guys that they're looking at. And I feel that way absolutely about Adam Novotny. He will be there. Will the Islanders take him? Will Darsh decide, you know what? There's 6 or 7 guys we feel are ranked in the same range. Can I trade down 5 spots, pick up another asset?
He's probably going to trade away the picks for coffee, for Starbucks gift cards.
Maybe so. Or a gift card or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I'm looking at Adam Novotny as a guy that the Islanders could be interested in. He's a guy that I like. There are other guys that, as I'm doing some research, I'm like, okay, these guys work too. But Adam Novotny's a guy that I liked from early on. Now, would I put him ahead of Cullen or Lawrence or Belchez? Probably not. But those guys might be gone.
They could. Very well
could be gone. I mean, we're going
to find out next Friday.
Someone's going to go off the board.
Yes.
Somebody who isn't ranked as high. Somebody always does that. Hopefully it's not Darsh. Lamoriello was good at doing that dumb stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
You want to get in the next one, Grumpy?
Yeah. Who is it? JP Hurlbut?
Number 17, JP Hurlbut. Hurlbut is his name, sorry. 6 foot 190 right shot center from the Kamloops Blazers, WHL. Hurlbut has added more height and strength to his frame this spring in preparation for his freshman season at the University of Michigan next year. He can play all 3 forward positions and contributed 42 goals and 55 assists in Kamloops' this past season. Projection in the NHL is second line center.
Okay, second line center.
Correct.
Okay. Now, Hurlburt, absolutely. What the heck am I looking at here? I know that they interviewed him, so he could be somebody that they're looking at. I doubt that they're going to be looking at him at number 13, though, right? And then it leads, okay, are they going to trade down? Then maybe these are other guys you're looking at. I don't know. I think they're going to wind up sticking at number 13. So I don't think that they're looking for him here. Proman has him at 45. Wheeler has him at 20.
So he's kind of all over people's boards.
Right.
That's not somebody I feel strong in.
Again, now here's a guy: skating, hockey sense, and compete are all average. Puck skills are above average. Shot is above average. As you drop down in the draft, you're seeing guys who don't have the immediate skill set that jumps out. Oh man, he's fantastic. This, that, and the other thing. This is where your projections start, right? From the second round on, really. You're looking at guys, you're looking for a certain trait that your organization likes, and you're looking at players for that.
I'm just saying, based on with pick 13, I'm not looking at him solely based off of him not usually if a lot of people are in unison with hey, this guy is 12, 13, or 15. If a lot of 3 people have him there, okay, well then he's probably average a 13th overall pick. But the fact that one person has him at 45, another one has him at 20, and this has him at 17 here, sorry, I don't feel strong picking up somebody like that where you don't really know where he lies.
I agree. I 100% agree. I'm not looking for Hurlburt.
No,
in that range. I'm just not. And we might just do kind of a blow by on some of these other guys who I just don't think
the Islanders are going to get or will be available later on.
Right. Remember, they don't have a second and a third round pick.
Yeah.
I don't think they have a third round pick. I'm going to need to double. Actually, I should probably double check that.
Let's check Puckopedia.
Who's the next guy on our list, Mr. X?
So for 2026, they have a first and a 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th.
Okay. So you're not looking at Hurlburt unless you're trading down.
Correct.
And we're going to do this on the assumption that they're not trading down.
Yes.
Everybody that we've talked about so far, I think, have some type of realistic chance of going 13.
Yeah.
But not a whole lot more. There's a couple more players on this list that I think maybe have a shot for the Islanders. I don't think Hurlburt is one of them, though.
Who do you think it is so I can pull him up?
Well, here we go. Malte Gustafsson.
Okay. Malte Gustafsson, 6'4", 203 pounds, left shot defenseman, HV71 SHL. Gustafsson is an outstanding skater and another prospect from Sweden who played most of his season at the pro level. He's competitive and smart. Gustafsson can be deployed in a variety of roles and trusted in all situations, but will likely only produce secondary offense at most. And it says NHL projection, second pairing defenseman.
Now, he's a guy that is what you would call a shutdown D. Okay. Big, physical, solid two-way player. His profile is coveted by the NHL. It really is. All these kids need to be more consistent at both ends of the ice at this age, right? Let's be honest, right? I know that Wheeler had him at number 14 and Proman had him at number 9. His rankings, his compete are above average. Skating, puck skills, and hockey sense are all average, right? He's really good defensively. He has excellent gap control, and he plays a heavy game, right? And he's a top 4 defenseman who can match up in the playoffs. Just looking at his size, look at the guys, look at the teams that win Stanley Cups the last number of years. Look at the size of their defensemen, right? Bigger, physical. In the playoffs, you need that.
Yep.
A little pissant defenseman, the Lane Hudsons.
Oh, that's exactly what I was going to say for Montreal.
And that's the problem I have with Ryan Lynn. same thing.
Just gets thrown around, literally just tossed.
It's a different game in the playoffs. Great for fantasy hockey, good for regular season games. NHL the playoffs are a different animal. Gustafsson looks like a guy who's ready to play in the NHL. I'm not saying he's ready to play in the NHL now, but he's the type of guy you look for.
He's the size, absolutely, where he can fit.
Playoff defenseman. And those bigger guys, they go higher, right? They do. He's a left shot defenseman. Okay.
We have a ton.
So where does he fit? Does that mean that you're moving someone to the offside if you're making a play for him? The Islanders need help everywhere. Let's be honest, right?
Yep.
Not everybody who they've drafted is going to pan out. I hate to tell you, it's not going to happen.
What do you mean? It's definitely going to happen.
But, Gustafsson's a guy who's going to play for a long time in the league. So I see him as an option for the Islanders at number 13. Okay. Liam Ruck, no. Ilya Morozov, I think he's got a shot. But again, at 13, gosh, that just seems awful high for him.
Yeah, that's dropping. That's dropping off the board quite a bit.
Yeah, I don't know. I just don't see him as somebody that they're going to be looking for at that spot. Okay. I mean, he's again big, 6'3", 300, high end compete. That's the thing that they look for, right? High end compete. If you're trading down, maybe you're looking at Ilya Morozov. Maybe you are. Right?
Yeah.
Below average hockey sense, skating and puck skills are average. Okay. I mean, he's physical. So, teams like that. Is that what you're looking for, though, at, pick number at number 13? I think you're probably looking for a little bit more than that. No?
I agree. You'd have to trade down for him to even be a candidate.
Yes.
Got Oscar Hemming.
Oscar Hemming is a guy who I think has a shot. Actually, why don't you read about Oscar?
6'3", 193 pounds, left shot winger from Boston College. Hemming is another one of the big power forwards on my list. He produced 1 goal and 7 assists in 19 college games this year, while asserting his physical style along the boards and in front of the opponent's net. He needs time to mature, but his two-way secondary scoring upside is very attractive. NHL projection is a second-line winger.
Again, big physical player. He played on Finland's first line at the Helenka Cup, and that's where he kind of made his name a little bit, right? Proman has him as as average in skating and puck skills, below average in hockey sense, and high-end compete. I really think the Islanders are looking at high-end compete guys. It would not surprise me at all if Oscar Hemming is picked by the Islanders at 13. Are there other guys there that I would rather have than him? Yes, there are, but I could see them picking him. Proman describes him as his on-ice tools are highly intriguing. He's a big winger with the speed and skill for the higher levels. He can make difficult plays with speed and has a good shot from range. He uses his big body well, playing a heavy physical game. Whether the pure offense in his game will be truly elite is a minor question, but he projects as a hard-to-play against top-6 winger. That's what teams are looking for. You know what he sounds like? I don't know if he sounds like a Carolina player. All Carolina players, what's the one thing they all do well? Every single one of them.
Play defense.
Skate. They all skate. If you can't skate.
They all come back and play defense, though.
Yeah. And that's that compete level.
Yeah. Yep.
I don't think there's anybody that Carolina drafts that does not have a high-end compete level.
Yep.
So Oscar Hemming is absolutely a guy that we could see going forward.
What about Maddox? I'm going to butcher this last name. Deganius?
Danye.
Wow. Yeah. We weren't even close on that one.
I don't think that they didn't interview him. So he's a big guy too. But now you're talking about, again, we're talking about both guys are kind of have it in their 20s. Are they really going to have a shot to go to the Islanders? I don't think he's a guy that they're going to be looking at. I think there's only one guy that I was looking at, another left shot defense. Well, actually, two more guys that I kind of wanted to look at the number 13 pick. Okay. One of them is left-hand defenseman William Hackison, and there's the team right there. X, if you could just
I can read his little bio here. William Hackinson, number 24, 6'4", 207 pounds, left shot defenseman. Ultima Lelia Alsveskin SHL.
Oh my God.
Alvinskan. I don't know.
Just skip the big words, X. Go to
Hackinson is one of the most easily defined prospects in this class. He combines his size and reach to kill plays defensively, but doesn't move the needle much offensively. He complements a more active transitional defenseman and matches up defensively versus top six forwards. NHL projection second pairing, shutdown defensive. That would be somebody who could pair up well. Well, he's a left shot defenseman, so never mind. I was going to say that would be somebody who could pair up well with Schaefer.
I think if you're looking to somewhat pair up with Schaefer, if he's available, you're looking at Malte Gustafsson if he's available. I think that's a better fit. Priman has him as below average in shot, puck skills, and skating. Hockey sense is average, and his compete is high end. Don't rule out the guys who have high end compete for the Islanders. I'm not saying that they would pass over a guy supremely talented over a high end compete guy, but I think that this particular iteration of the management team is absolutely looking for high end compete guys. That's what Florida does. That's what Carolina does. High end compete. It's the most important. You can't teach drive and determination. You can't. You just can't, right?
Yes.
And there's one last guy that I wanted to talk about.
Is it Juho Pipparainen?
It's not Juho Pipparainen. Pipparainen is a guy, if you're looking at him, he's ranked by both guys like 39 and 41. You're not looking for him at 13. You're looking like maybe multiple trades down if you're looking for somebody. Yeah. You're not going to reach at 13 for a guy who's ranked in the 40s. Even though Lamoriello did that with Casper
Holmstrom.
Casper Holmstrom all those years ago. A guy was supposed to be late third round. He picks him in the first round. That was a dumb move, right? Let's be honest.
Yes.
Dumb. The other guy is Oliver Savanto.
Okay, here he is right here. Number 26, Oliver Savanto, 6'3", 209-pound left shot center, Tapara, and he plays in Liga. Savanto is a power center who opens up space for his line mates with his physical engagement. He isn't likely to move the needle a ton offensively, but the way he approaches the game is a valuable element in the team building process. He scored twice for Finland at the World Juniors, NHL projection middle six center.
Wheeler sees him as a bottom six center. Like I said, he's got the size you want, 6'2" and 3/4, 207 pounds.
They got 6'3", 209 here.
Okay, close enough for government work, but he's also
good enough for government work, Grumpy.
Close enough for government work, but he's one of those late birthdays, so he's younger than most, right? Again, below average skating. This is from Pronman, and his puck skills and hockey sense are average, and he has above average compete. His player comp is Shane Pinto. Those that. I wouldn't want to see Oliver Savanto going to the Islanders at 13. I think there's going to be much more intriguing options than him, but that's one of the players that they talk to. So we're not going to just ignore that. These are the type of things we're talking about. It's a crapshoot, right? The draft's a crapshoot. That's why you need as many kicks of the cans as possible, because you never know. You never know what you're going to get. You never know. This guy, like Braden Point, went in the second round. Ilya Sorokin went in the third round. You want as many kicks of the can as possible.
Sorokin was a steal.
And one thing I think the Islanders are looking for certain character traits for players. I think they like bigger players, which maybe might rule out a guy like Tynan Lawrence. But you just look at his skill set. All right, he had a down year. That happens sometimes. But you know what? I'm not ruling out any of the guys that we talk to. I know we gave you a whole bunch of players, but I feel that all of them should be available at 13. We didn't talk about, like I said, the guys like Dax and Rudolph would be a real plus for them. The one guy who I think, if he slips, I could see them grabbing is Malte Gustafson. I could see them picking him, even though it's not a position of need. Remember, Pellick and Pulak are both in their 30s now. Mayfield's deep into his 30s. Tony DeAngelo is in his 30s. These guys are all going to be aging out in the next couple of years. Maybe you look to move a Pellick or a Pulak in the next 2 years. Maybe the Islanders look to make a move at this year's draft and move a Pellick or a Pulak. I mean, then you need a replacement. They're not going to be ready, but you can sign a stopgap, and then you can maybe take a shot. Okay, maybe if Gustafson is there, yeah, we take a shot at him. Then he can fill that solid defensive role. You never know. Same thing with Dax and Rudolph, who I think is better. I think he's a better player than Gustafson, certainly more offensive upside. But there's so many things you're looking for in the NHL draft. So many things. So, I mean, I hope people kind of liked what we talked about. And I know it's hard. It's hard knowing what they're going to do. And we just gave you like a group.
It was really easy last year.
Yeah.
It was very easy last year.
Well, but then you remember we had the two later.
The Noah Dobson trade. Yeah.
Right.
So, but I mean, I'm talking about for our, number one overall pick. It was pretty easy.
Let's be honest. Both Victor Eklund and Kayshawn Aitchison dropped from where they were ranked.
Exactly. So you never know what can happen. I mean, obviously the number one overall pick, we knew he was the unanimous number one overall pick. I could have made that pick. Baby could have made that pick.
Anybody could have made that.
Yeah. Anybody could have made that pick. Exactly. So, I mean, it's a little bit different this year. So I think we'll know better once the draft takes place, and then also leading up to the draft, if any trades are made, or even on draft night trades being made, I think will definitely affect the board. So
this year's draft is stronger than last year's draft.
Correct.
But Schaefer's in a tier by himself compared to everybody else.
Absolutely.
I mean, and there's a gap. It's not like, oh, well, he's, first tier, and then, the second tier is really close. No, there's a gap. There's a gap, a big gap.
Yep.
Schaefer's generational. I don't think any of these guys are generational.
Agreed. Grumpy, do you want to do the ad read, and then we get into some comments?
I'd love to do the ad read, my friend, Mr. X. Let's jump on that if we could. It all comes down to this: a best of seven battle, and DraftKings has you covered every step of the way. The DraftKings Sportsbook app is now available in all 50 states and includes all markets. Sweat every shift of the series all in one place with one app. And I want to play the disclaimer.
We can't hear it if you're playing it.
You can't hear it?
Hell no.
Okay. New DraftKings customers sign up with code THPN, spend $5 to get $200 in rewards within 21 days. That's code THPN in partnership with DraftKings. The crown is yours. Bet with DK Sportsbook. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER, 1-800-MY-RESET. New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY. Text HOPE-NY. Connecticut, call 888-789-777. Visit ccpg.org on behalf of Boot Hill Casino in Kansas. Bet tax pass through may apply in Illinois. 21 plus. Void in Ontario. Event contract trading with DraftKings predictions involves risk of loss. Sportsbook bonus bets expire in 7 days. $50 in prediction dollars issued weekly for 3 weeks. Expire in 1 year. Redeem one non-withdrawable reward. Availability varies. Ends June 28th. Terms at dkng.com/audio.
Okay, you want to know the funniest thing? I just saw you sitting there, and you were just kind of like, and I knew you had thought that you were playing it. And I was like, dude, we can't hear anything.
It worked last week, X.
I know it worked last week. I was just saying it was so funny because I was just waiting for you to start, and you're just kind of sitting there like bopping your little head around like, ooh. I'm just like, yeah, this man thinks it's going on. It is not. It is not.
You know what? We didn't test it today before
That's right. We did not test it today.
Yeah.
But anyway, let's get to some comments, Grumpy.
Let's get into some comments. Matthew Sklar says, I picked Minnesota at the start of the playoffs. Once they were knocked out, it was Carolina's to lose. I didn't think anybody was beating Carolina this year. Matthew Sklar also adds, Taylor Hall with the eventual cup-winning goal. Think about Taylor Hall.
Crazy.
I never thought he was that. I thought he was overrated. I never thought that he was a winner. He even mentioned after the Eastern Conference Finals that, he was not prepared when he got here. He was not in shape. Like the players have to get in shape here. It's one thing about hockey players. They're not like other sports. You got other sports, man, you got a lot of lazy guys who just get by on skill. That's really not the case for hockey players. And kudos to Taylor Hall at his age saying, you know what?
I need to work out. I need to get in shape. I'm
not the number one line wing anymore. I'm going to get out my lunch bucket and go to work every day. Congrats. I mean, all the Carolina guys. I don't hate Carolina. I think they're a hard team to dislike. They are not a dirty team. I don't even think they're overly physical. They finish their checks, but you don't see them you don't see them roaming off and guys to the boards when their pucks are getting pumped into the net behind them. You don't see that. They're a team they just play hockey the right way. I love their style. I wish the Islanders played like Carolina. Matthew also adds Carolina earned it. They absolutely. When you go 16-3 in the playoffs, I think since the modern system came through in 1988, I think only Edmonton one year only had 2 losses. Other than that, it's Carolina and then everybody else. Okay. Nick Isles Stress says, Grump, Sun X, how you guys? How about Mitch Marner? A year after leaving the Leafs, he led the playoffs with 29 points. The only reason why he couldn't do anything in Game 6, Canines played D. Oh, Carolina played D all game. Well, you can't say that. I mean, they scored. What score did they beat them in that game? Was it 4-2?
Yes.
Okay. Well, whatever. I think Mitch Marner, you hear a lot of Toronto fans ripping Mitch Marner. Get over it. Get over losers. I mean, it's all I got to say. He didn't want to play for your team. He didn't want to take below market for what he was making. You blew it with him. You should have moved him. You should have moved him at the deadline if you weren't going to be able to sign him.
Tavares 2.0.
You got Tavares, baby.
Yep.
Matthew Sklar says Slavin wins a gold medal and a Stanley Cup in the same year. Only Ken Morrow has done that. Wow. It's different. It's different. With the pros playing, I think you're going to see that more often.
Yes. Yeah.
When Ken Morrow did it, he was a college kid because that's when it was amateurs. It was certainly amateurs for the Western countries, but certainly not the Soviet bloc teams. They were playing pros, but
they were. What do you mean, Grumpy? They were part of the military. Come on,
they sure were.
Come on, they were part of the military. The only thing you didn't know is that their job included playing hockey for 14 hours a day. But yeah, they're part of the military.
What can I tell you, right? But still quite an achievement for Slavin, who was phenomenal for them defensively. Ken Morrow still number one in my book when it comes to that. Freedom Fund Adventure says, it's been a week since the last show. Grumpy, has the warden installed the new gas tank and pump that the kids wanted? No, she has not. Matthew Sklar says, Brindamore has immortalized himself. First ballot Hall of Famer.
You think he's the first ever player first ever person to win a Stanley Cup and as a coach and a player with a team? Yes, he's the first to do that.
I don't think that's the case.
I think he's the first player to ever do that.
He was captain for that team.
Maybe he was be a captain and the head coach of the same team and win a cup.
And on the same team. Maybe, I don't know.
Team. Yeah.
I don't think he's a first ballot Hall of Famer, but he's a hell of a coach. I never liked Rob Brindamore as a player. He played with those slime ball Flyers, so I never liked him. But you cannot deny that he's a really, really good coach.
Mm-hmm. Jason players to buy in for sure.
Absolutely. And they all love him. They all love him. And I don't know if you saw the video, Rod the Bod. He ripped his shirt off and, he was in the locker room. I mean, he's still ripped, man, for a guy as old as he is.
He's got to stapling guys to the boards. Come on.
I know it. JP says Carolina's franchise is well built. Their coaching staff is outstanding too. Brindamore, Daniels, and Tim Gleason are all outstanding coaches. Yeah, they know what they're doing in Carolina. Gugun says, is Victor Wembanyama a dirty player? No. Grumpy, who was your favorite character in Buffy the Vampire Slayer? I never watched that show. Never, not once. Never.
I don't think Victor Wembanyama is a dirty player.
Freedom has Malty Gustafson, the big physical, smooth skating left-hand defenseman, who I believe the Islanders will be able to draft. I like the player profile, and he's the last of the top 13 players who could be had. Like I said, I'm not opposed to him because they need help everywhere. Somebody's going to have to get shifted. I don't want it to be Schaefer. I don't want Schaefer leaving his natural position to play on the outside.
Agreed.
Don't want it. You want to move some of the other hacks.
Do not limit the best player that you have on your team.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
Don't
just to fit a need on your team. Yeah. Don't do it.
JP says, I hear some analysts saying that the Canes don't have any stars, but Ahu and Jarvis are better than a lot of other teams' top forwards. I don't think they have any. They don't have a top 10 player in the league.
Correct. That's what I was about to say. They do not have a top 10 player. Sebastian Aho's good. I wouldn't consider Sebastian Aho a top 10 player in the league, though.
No. Me neither. I'm not saying he sucks.
They have a lot of really, really, really good players, though.
They have a lot of B-plus players on that team.
Yeah.
They all know their role, every single one of them. JP says, and I agree, Brenda Moore has them playing a lot like the old Islanders under Al Arbor in terms of forechecking and playing all three zones. Absolutely. Goon says, gents, in the last episode, you gave mixed signals. On one hand, saying the Islanders are crap, but on the other hand, they'll get more wins than last year. Son X, what was your favorite film starring Richard Gere? I bet you don't even know who Richard Gere is.
If I saw him, I'd probably know who it is. But being on the fence, I mean, I wouldn't say that we're on the fence. I think we still think the team is not great, but we do think that they will get more wins than they did this year. I still don't think they're going to make the playoffs, though.
I think the Peter DeBoer factor helps them. If you play a more of a shutdown defensive game, like parking the bus,
yep,
you can win more games. Barry Trotz did it. The Islanders did that.
It's not fun to watch.
Not fun to watch. It's not entertaining, but you're absolutely going to get more wins instead of.
It's like saying, hey, you know what we're going to do? We're going to score a goal, get some lucky goal, and then we're going to stick everyone in the net to just block all the shots. Is that fun? No. But it gets you results.
And it all depends on injuries too, right?
Yes.
FYI, Richard Gere was in movies like Pretty Woman, Officer and a Gentleman. Have you seen any of those films? No. See, X, what a loser. Freedom Front Adventure says, Grumpy, I recently took on a new marketing client who is a not-for-profit, go by PACO, Parents Against Cheap Offspring. Get with me after the show, Grumpy. I got to award you a free year membership. Wonder why I said that. Now, X, I hear you and TJ been slithering over here watching those late World Cup games and rating the Grumpy.
Don't make it sound like you heard, buddy. We were there in front of you. Why do you make it sound like you heard that we were doing that? We were literally there with you.
And I also see that the refrigerator is not as stocked as it was before, previously.
God, we'll blame it on your other son.
Nick Canetto, nice to see you again, Nick. How's it going, fellas? It's been a minute since I've been able to catch you guys live. Just been watching the replay. Nick, always a pleasure hearing from you. Always.
Always nice seeing you.
Nick Isle Stress says, by the way, congratulations to Carolina. I just wanted Marner to win the cup and the Conn Smythe just to stick it to the Toronto Maple Leafs, especially the media podcasters and 90% of the fans. Yeah, their hatred for him is just, I'm sorry. Okay. I feel the same way about Islander fans who are still butthurt over Tavares. Move on. He didn't want to play for you anymore. Mitch Marner didn't want to play for Toronto anymore. Just let it go.
You know what we like to call that? It's called karma.
I mean, just is what it is, right? JP says, Tim Gleason really helped Keandre Miller, and Gotcha improved a lot under Gleason's tutelage. They know, I'm going to say again, they know what they're doing with the Frenchman. They absolutely do. Gungun says, did either of you dashing bastards attend the Canes victory parade? No. Son X, has last month's rent been paid?
I don't pay rent.
Not anymore, he doesn't.
Nope.
Nick says, something I feel not many people are talking about is what if they trade Zizekas? Could go Bo, Barzy, Shen, and Pajot down the middle. I feel like that'd be really solid. Okay, Nick. Here's the thing. You just paid, what, $4.5 million a year for JG Pajot to play fourth line center? I can't.
Waste of money.
I can't see it. I think Barzell's probably going to be on the wing,
Yep.
or Shen will be on the wing with Barzell at center. I don't know what. I mean, they could absolutely move Cizikas, a fourth line center. I just can't see. I can't see Pajot being the fourth line center. And here's the thing: I don't think DeBoer rolls lines either. He's a guy the big lines get bigger minutes with him. Could be wrong. For some reason, I'm thinking that's the case. Freedom Fundamental says, I'm still mad about the Palat and Shen deals. Isn't everybody? I'm hoping we can obtain additional picks. You have to move. My gosh. The Shen trade was so bad. It was so bad. And the big deal he made was we didn't trade any of our prospects. Dude,
you just traded away all your picks instead.
On a team that really is in a rebuild, right?
I was just trying to get rid of him. You paid top dollar and then some.
It's a team that's in a rebuild, and you traded away assets for a cashed center from St. Louis who they couldn't give him away.
Correct.
They couldn't give him.
It was a problem in the locker room too.
Right. It's not a mistake that as soon as he left, everybody's game took off.
Well, wow, wild.
Matthew Sklar says San Antonio choked that away for sure. Yes, they did. Hayden says, go Islanders. That's
go
right.
Isles.
Nick Canetta says, I feel like reasonable land for us are Cullen or Lynn. I'd be pretty happy with either of them, to be honest with you. I'd rather go Cullen than Lynn. Lynn is small, and he's small frame. He reminds me a lot of Calvin DeHaan, just a frail body type. You can have guys who are short, but they have to be stout. He's not that. And I'm not saying he sucks. I'm not saying any of these guys suck. I'd rather go with Cullen if it was between the two of them. And they could both be available. Like I said, Belchez could be available. He's a guy, I wouldn't mind Belchez. There's a lot of guys at the top that I'm looking at. Nick Nick M. Sorry, Nick.
Moralatos.
You know what? I used to know how to say his name. I can't do it.
Moralatos.
My bad. Lovely child in the picture. Don't be hating, Grumpy. The Knicks had one of the best runs in history. They earned it. Kings of the
New York. I'll say this, and I'll just say this on it. I think I think the Spurs are a very young team. I think that's what ended up killing the Spurs. Was they were young, made a lot of mistakes, and fell apart in games. I think that if they played like a more mature team, I think it would have been a different outcome. I mean, granted, the Knicks won. They took care of business. Jalen Brunson absolutely performed phenomenally. Very clutch player. So you can't take away from what the Knicks did. That said, I think they played a little bit more mature team. It was the same scoring line in those games. I don't know. Maybe the Knicks don't win, but
maybe it's Nick Moralatos. Maybe it's Nick Moralatos.
Moralatos.
I'm going to go. Well, not like you said it, but yeah.
Okay.
And if I'm wrong, Nick, sorry. Tell me I'm wrong. That's okay.
Tell Grumpy he sucks. There we go.
That's right. That's fine. Rick Rock says draft next Friday. Right-handed defense is wanted in order. Verhoff gone. Rudolph gone. Philip, I think he'll be there. I think Lynn will be there. Not interested in any forwards. Some fans want Vigo Bjork if he falls. That's a maybe for me. He's small. I'm not drafting for need.
Yes.
None of these guys are jumping into the lineup day one. They're not.
Draft the best players available. Pull a Philadelphia Eagles.
So much can happen in 2 or 3 years. The whole team, the majority of the team is going to be turned over in 2 or 3 years.
Yep.
So, and here's the thing. I'm not picking Philip Panarin at 13. Absolutely not. He's a guy, second rounder. That's what happens when you piss away second round draft picks, late first round draft picks. You could have taken that Colorado pick and you could have moved it for 2 seconds or a first next year and a second this year and a third this year. You could do so many things with it, but you don't have it. You got Braden Shen for 2 more years, and he sucks. There's my friend Nick again. Best ratings for the NBA Finals since Jordan's last run. It's because the Knicks are in there.
I just know that the regular season ratings were at like an all-time low for the NBA this year. They were even talking about it. That they were very, very poor.
The product is not appealing.
Yeah, I'm sure the finals grabbed a lot of attention too, and also the fact that Wembanyama was probably the most popular young player that's in the sport, and he made it to the finals. They beat OKC. A lot of people watched. But yeah, I don't doubt that the NBA Finals did not get a ton of viewership this year. I just know regular season viewership was extremely down this year.
Big market teams,
Yeah, big crowds. Period. Just how it works.
Nick Canetta says, "I know you guys are out on Darce. Absolutely, I'm giving him the off season." Well, okay. If he doesn't make the right moves this offseason, then I want him out, but got to give him a chance to fix his mistakes. The fact is, he hasn't made a good move yet. There's not been a good player move he's made yet. Everyone has been bad. Every single move, bad. That's the nicest way I can put it. I can't be any nicer than that. And I'm out on him. I think he gets this year, and I think he gets next year too. I think he's
get rid of him after this year when he messes up again.
Maybe
how many more times you have to see failure.
I don't know what he's going to do. I mean,
nothing.
All right.
He's going to do nothing. Honestly, though, I would rather him not do anything than screw stuff up more.
I know these guys are secretive, okay? But I don't.
It's not the CIA, dude.
I just don't think that he's capable of making the moves needed.
I'd rather him just sit there with his thumb up his butt for the next 2 years and not screw up any worse than he's already done. That's what I want.
I want to
just sit there in the corner, Darsh. You're in detention. Sit there in the corner with the dunce hat on.
Yeah. Okay. Not Nazato says, "Hey Grump, I told you about Bussy. He was good.
Kids from my hometown."
Oh, there you go. Freedom Fun Adventure says Belchez or Verhoff or another right-handed defense would be ideal. Again, I think Verhoff's going to be gone. Belchez could absolutely be gone. I think Jersey's hot for him. Young power forwards, they tend to get snatched up. Who have skill, they tend to get snatched up. Belchez is a fit. There's a lot of guys in that mix. I don't want to reach, just say, oh, well, we need a right shot defenseman. So they're all gone. So let's go to second level. I'm not about position. Not in the first round. I'm just not. Nick Canetta says you move Pellick, Zizekas, and Duclair for assets. I think that gets the ball moving in the right direction. Find one or two young buy low candidates, and I'd say it's a good offseason. Okay. Leave that comment back up, please. All of a sudden, you're taking down comments fast. You never do that, X.
I always do.
Never do it.
Move on to the next one.
So, what does it say about Darce, though? It says that, is he admitting that he made a drastic mistake trading prospects for Braden Shen?
He's going to do nothing.
Okay. I'm just saying, if he makes this move,
it's not happening.
Some guys for assets. I'd love to see him do that. I don't care that it would make me feel better as opposed to him dying on his sword saying, no, we're still good enough to win. I just don't know if he's able to admit that.
That's not happening. He's going to sit there and do nothing. He's going to make no deals. He'll draft somebody with the 13th overall pick. He won't move up or down, and it'll probably be the wrong selection.
Most general managers and coaches are not able to admit they make mistakes. It's hard.
Does he strike you as somebody who's capable of doing that?
I don't know. He made a lot of mistakes with coffee orders. That much I know.
Did he ever admit it, though?
No.
There you go.
Thomas Antonetti says, gents, any interest in John Carlson, who's available in a 1 or 2 year deal, no more, to serve as an offensive mentor to Matthew Schaefer? I think that if the price is right, that'd be worth doing. There's no way he's coming to the Islanders. No way. I think he will be coming east. He already informed Anaheim he's not signing back. Oh, look what Washington did. They got rid of 36-year-old John Carlson, got a first-round pick plus from Anaheim. He leaves, and would it shock you if he goes back to Washington?
Crazy.
Maybe he doesn't. Maybe he goes to Carolina to replace Darren Radish if he leaves. But he's not going to get more than a couple-of-year deal, not at his age. I just don't think he's coming to the Islanders. That's what good teams do. You see, you're not making the playoffs, you move your expiring assets.
Correct.
John Carlson had been with Washington his whole career, did not want to leave. They moved him because they knew they weren't going anywhere. Now let's get assets for him.
That's what good teams do.
That's what good teams do. Not so much the Islanders. Sorry. The Wicked 50 Cal says, for the Islanders, I'm hoping that somehow Bjork's available. I doubt it. I don't think he's lasting that long. For me, Gustafsson, I see him as a Forsling Pelech type player, and Novotny, not much offensive upside, or massive nose for me. Okay. It depends. Like I said, I like Adam Novotny, just what I've seen. Could you maybe drop down a couple spots and pick him? Perhaps. It all depends. I mean, everything's fluid, and somebody will drop. There are going to be guys that, like I said, last year, nobody thought Eklund and Aitchison would be available where the Islanders picked them. Yep. No one. Absolutely no one. Bjork, my gosh, he's 5'9". He's not the fastest skater. I just wonder how good he's going to be. I don't know. Okay, next. Freedom from the Bench says, Grumpy, how can you be done with Darsh because he disappointed you a few times? No, every time. How many times have you been disappointed by X and TJ? I expect you will be disappointed by both shortly. Wow, X, he took another shot at you, boy. The Wicked
right in.
For me, I want Bjork, Lynn, or Villeneuve. In my board, he's still a top 10 player, not on most other boards. Verhoff, if he falls off, and Cullen. Those guys, the first three guys are really tiny. They're small players. How many small players win in the league? You look at Stankoven. Okay, he's a small guy, but you know what he is? He's a dog out there on the ice.
Yeah.
I mean, I just think come playoff time, and I'm strictly talking playoffs, you want bigger, more physical players to wear other teams down. That's what you want. Freedom from the Bench says, wow, listen to these two crap all over nepotism. Seems like you and TJ are big fans of nepotism. I think he's talking about you.
He is.
Thanks. Canetta says, I have a feeling there are going to be a ton of trades before, during, and after the draft because of how weak the free agent class is. Yeah, the free agent, that's what happens when salary cap goes up. Everybody signs their players because the player is probably better the player that you don't know. If you're going to pay for somebody, you want to pay for somebody that you know. You know what you're going to get, as opposed to, well, we really don't know this guy. Don't know how he's going to fit in the system. Teams know who fits and who doesn't. Nick Canetta says, okay, we read that one. Thanks for not taking that one down.
Okay, here's the thing. You jumped on me. You jumped on my ass 2 seconds ago for taking him down too quick. And that's why I've been taking him down quick, because you always go like this. Next.
Okay.
Next.
All I know is
no problem. I'll be speed racer with taking these comments down. You don't have to worry.
I'm still reading the comment. You're pulling it down. I'm reading the comment. You're pulling it down. I'm halfway through.
Look at this one. You didn't even read this. Gone. No.
Nick Canetta says, personally, I don't want the Islanders to sign any free agent besides D'Angelo and a cheap goalie. This class batch is so bad, you're going to see some horrendous signings. Absolutely.
You see how quick that was? Look how fast that was gone.
Absolutely. Thomas Anthony says, am I the only one who does not want Kyrou on this team? You are not. Giving up assets for an interchangeable offensive player with no attention to defense when we should aim for a true sniper to play with Horvat or Barzal. I'll tell you what, I really wished that they had, if you were going to trade the assets they traded at the deadline for Shen,
go all in.
They should have, not Kyrou. I wanted Thomas as a younger, 27 years old, under contract for another, 5-6 years. That's the type of player you trade those assets for. That's the type of guy. He's somebody who's going to be with the team long term. Braden Shen, he can still shoot the puck, just can't skate anymore. That's the problem. Thomas Anthony says, gents, any thoughts about the backup goaltender situation? Could be Varlamov, right? Think we should bring back Big Save Dave? I do not, and go for a mid-range goalie, someone more capable of close to or over 30 games played. You could do a lot worse than David Rittich, honestly. I wouldn't, if Varlamov can't come back, and I don't know if he will. I think that you could do a lot worse than David Rittich. I mean, look at the trade that Toronto and Philadelphia just made. They traded Joseph Wall, Toronto did, for the Erickson guy. He sucks. That was a steal by Philadelphia. Steal. Toronto's got a couple of young goalies who might pan out. Anthony Stolars is the guy they're hitching their horse to. I don't know when he gets a big workload. Those backups, when they play a full workload, they're not as good anymore. It's the reason why they're backups. Freedom Fundamental says, Grumpy, if you want to have a great Father's Day, send the boys your gift list after the show. So X can't say you never gave him a list. He uses the same excuse every holiday. And TJ can't use phony shipping part 2. They do that type of stuff. It's very true.
Yeah.
Freedom Fundamental says, part 2, bring bags and food containers so you can take stuff home and feel free to grab what other else you like from Son X's house. Wow. Well, if I'm grabbing anything from Son X's house, it's probably my stuff that's just coming back.
Jesus.
Ian Malloy says, Wyatt Cullen is the man. I have a feeling he will end up being the 3rd best offensive player in this class. Elite prospects had him at number 6. He's a guy that I'm absolutely looking at. If he falls, I have no problem taking him. Somebody is going to fall. Is it going to be Tynan Lawrence? Is it going to be Wyatt Cullen? Is it going to be Ethan Belchez? Those are guys that I hope fall. Those are my top 3. Novotny, if they don't fall, you could trade down and still get him. That's what I'm looking for. Freedom Fund Red says, no on Lynn. Little time, soft bastard who most project no higher than 20 and less than 50% chance of becoming an NHL regular. If he does, it's a 3rd pair, not worth the 13th pick. 100% agree. Freedom says hard pass on Lawrence as well. Okay. Ian Malloy says Darce sucked this year. Everyone can admit it. Let's turn the page and be positive. I'm positive he sucks this year too. Give Darce the summer. At the end of the day, I'm just grateful we have a franchise defenseman. Okay. The hockey gods gifted you a franchise defenseman.
Correct. And even that moron couldn't screw that up.
Very true. The big 3 are Lawrence, Cullen, and Belchez. There you go. That's what I just said. If they're not there, I wouldn't be mad at moving back and adding picks. Yeah.
Yep. I agree.
Belchez is the dream pick. You're correct, X. I doubt he'll be there. Haven't heard anyone knock his skating. Way more skill than just around the net. Perfect replacement for Lee. Yeah. I have no problem with that. And here's the thing. He's not going to be ready to play next year. Probably not the year after, but that's okay. Gugner says, Grumpy, is the 1982 film Night Shift considered a comedy classic or a cult classic? Son X, are you a peacenik? Are you a peacenik, X?
Don't know what that is, so I'm going to say no.
It's like somebody peace, love, and understanding. No? Okay. Is Night Shift a comedy classic or a cult classic? I think it's more of a cult classic. I like Night Shift.
Never seen it.
Damn, what a loser. Henry Winkler, Michael Keaton, Shelley Long.
I know Michael Keaton is.
I'll just give you a brief synopsis. It's about a guy who works at a mortuary.
At night. Oh.
At night, and he winds up being a guy who winds up managing a bunch of hookers.
Interesting.
And Michael Keaton plays his goofball assistant. It's funny. Okay. And Henry Winkler, who was the Fonz, by the way, just in case you didn't remember. You didn't know. You didn't know he was the Fonz, did you? No. What a loser. So
what a loser.
So he played like a real straight-laced guy in this movie.
Oh. Which is different from his character of the Fonz.
Very different. And Shelley Long played one of the hooker with a heart of gold type thing, right? JP says, honestly, I'd trade the entire draft to Chicago for the 4 and pick Stenberg if he's still on the board. The Islanders and Darsh have effed their draft beyond all recognition anyway. Might as well try to redeem it. Yeah, why would Chicago do that? I guess is the question, right? Why would Chicago do that? Freedom Front Adventure says Lawrence didn't do well in interviews at the Combine. Apparently didn't come across well. Cullen predicted to go in the top 8. Well, if he goes in the top 8, the Islanders have no shot at him.
No shot to get him.
The Islanders have no shot of moving up. They have.
Yes, I agree.
Here's the thing. They don't have an asset that I'd be willing to move to get into the top 8.
You know what would probably happen? They would say, hey, we'll give you the 12th overall pick if you give us Schaefer. And Darsh would probably be like, throw in a Starbucks gift card for $150 and you got yourself a deal.
Throw me in Emil Henneman. I'll say yes. Oh, we already got him. I didn't even realize. How about Torts not getting the Vegas job after taking the finals? Apparently,
Oh,
their AHL coach was always the guy. Interesting to see how it plays out. He gets immediately stronger results and then gets fired.
I think it's because he lost those picks by not answering to the media. I think
I
that's why they canned him.
I don't think so. Here's the thing. It's a veteran-laden team, and they have an AHL coach, first-time coach coming in. Tell me that doesn't just say,
Not good results. Why would they got rid of you? Literally made the Stanley Cup Finals. You beat Colorado, who's considered like the Invincibles, the team that couldn't be beaten, and you get rid of your head coach.
Swept them.
Honestly, I think I'm telling you, I think it's because he lost those picks and they're butthurt about that. That's what I think.
No, I heard that he was not coming back anyway. They were never bringing him back. He was just a short-term.
It's stupid.
I mean, let's see if this kid works out. I just think
when he doesn't, you know what I hope he does? I hope they just pan to Tortorella and he's just laughing.
I just, they won't let Butch Cassidy interview for jobs. He still technically works for the organization.
They're a weird franchise.
I mean, I don't know. Freedom Fund says the Islanders may be able to trade down because Athletic and other state there are 13 elite guys. Okay. Well, they'll get one of them then. Charles Dipper says, Grumpy, back in the day, the Islanders played any type of game their opponents wanted to play and played it better than them. That's right. That's during that era, the Islanders were able, they were like chameleons. They could play anyone's game. Freedom Fund says Oscar Hemming, left wing, should be on the list. Gustafson most likely picked for the Islanders. Jerk Bailey cost us a second-round pick. No. It was Lou Lamoriello who traded him.
Lou Lamoriello.
And gave away a second-round pick to move him. That's what cost us.
I like this comment right here.
Freedom Fund says, love hearing Son X realize Freedom was correct when I told him about playoff hockey, playoff jockey actually, and how the Islanders are not built for it.
That's right. Much love. Much love.
Goon says, was it stupid of the Knights to get rid of Tortorella?
Yes.
Were you once the king of all sports?
I still am the king of all sports.
Ooh, wow.
And yes, it was stupid of them to get rid of Tortorella. I agree.
Helen Yeller says, I like Torch, but maybe some of the players didn't like him. Every one of them spoke very highly of him. Yep. Everyone in the exit interviews, I think they all knew he wasn't coming back, though.
Yes, I agree.
There was no one who was critical of him at all. Let's see how it works out with an AHL coach. This is a heavily veteran-laden roster.
Newsflash, not well.
JP says, this year, any Islander draft preview was going to discuss. It is literally a crime against hockey operations that the Islanders have 2 picks in the first 109. Thank you, Matthew Darsh. Thank you. Mr. B says,
you know what I think it was? He needed time to go run out to the Starbucks in the middle of the draft to go ahead and get some coffee. That's why he decided to trade away those picks. He said, oh, shit. He's like, I don't know if I get my latte order in by then. Let me go ahead and trade away these picks. That way I can get some additional time.
I heard he had some time booked at the Racquetball Club.
Oh, there we go.
Mr. B says, Grump, was that you rocking the Islanders jersey in Carolina? It was not. But I'll tell you what, I love that there were 2 guys wearing Islander jerseys.
Hell yeah.
Stanley Cup Finals.
Hell yeah.
You know what? It's funny. I love watching the end of the Stanley Cup when the team wins and you see them all celebrate on the ice. I think it's just special watching those guys, regardless of the team, honestly.
Yeah.
It's just special to see it. And you know what? They gave Freddie Anderson was the second guy to touch the cup.
That's what they said. They said Stahl, I think. Or who was the first one who touched it? Was it Stahl?
Oh, the captain.
Yeah, he said I'm immediately giving it to Anderson.
Good for him. Good for Carolina, man. I like Carolina. I really do. I wish we were Carolina. I really do. Freedom Fund Adventure says they're always in contention. That's a team in contention every year.
Yep.
Always in contention. Freedom says, Grumpy, can you make certain El Cheapo nickname
Uncle Cheapo nicknames sticks with baby Liza?
No, he calls him Nick.
Nick.
I mean, I'm certain it will Anyway, more birthdays, graduations, and Christmases she experiences. Why would he give me a Warden toaster? Oh my goodness, X. X, you're taking a lot of slings and arrows today.
You know, I love. We just literally have gone off of X. You think you have thrown my name out so many times now on the show?
Are you sure?
I'm positive. I'm positive, and it's always you.
Oh,
it's
sorry.
always you who does it.
Freedom Fun Adventure says, Maxime Sokolovsky. That's who I want with the additional first or early second. Well, I don't think that's happening. Matthew Carbone says, do you guys think Barzal gets traded? What about Lee joining another team? I don't think Barzal is getting traded, and I think Anders Lee will sign with another team. Freedom Fun Adventure says, tell us again how upset TJ is. He did the show all these years, and he quits, and they get Schaefer. He was pissed.
Very, very pissed.
How many times do you hear, man, I really wanted to be doing the show this year?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I can eat and take multiple bathroom breaks during the show. Yeah.
He got better at that at the end. Freedom Fun Adventure says, of course, little baby could have picked Schaefer too. Son X, she's already smarter than you and her dad combined.
She's very smart. She's very smart.
Freedom says, I think Barzy and a D-man are traded at least. I don't think they're trading.
I can't see them trading Barzal. If they trade Barzal, you're in full rebuild.
Charles Dittmar says, looks like we have got a good group of players to choose from. That's what we're hoping. That's what we're hoping. I just hope the Downs is one of these teams that go off the board. The picks ranked at 45 at 13. Mr. B says, Grump, was that you rocking the Islanders jersey in Vegas? No.
I think there were two separate comments.
Drew says, can't wait to see Darsh mess up this draft like he messed up 99% of the moves already.
Agreed.
Drew. Drew also says, Nick M gets it. Grumpy will never get to see his Celtics be more dominant team in the NBL playoff history, according to some type of metric. Just stop. Why are we putting up basketball comments? You know, I hate that sport.
I know you love it. That's why I put them up.
James Farrell says, trade Barzal while he has value. Okay, he's got he got 10 teams you can trade him to. And he's got a lot of years on his contract, 5 more years at $9.125 million. That's a lot of I just don't see him doing it.
9.15 million.
Hey, you traded for Braden Shen and Anjay Palat and Carson Sousa, give up assets, and then you move your best offensive player to get assets back when you brought in 3 pieces of trash and gave up more assets. You'd probably get.
I like to call that being a moron.
He's
AKA Darsh mode.
James Farrell says, Dolan trying to get the whole team back for a repeat. Okay, the Knicks are not winning a championship next year. Just like Carolina's not winning a championship next year. Freedom Fund Adventure says, Son X, did you know Richard Gere is most famous for needing hospital treatment to remove a poor gerbil from his butt? Terrible actor in person. He didn't miss anything from the animal abuser.
Is that true?
That is an old people always said that. There's no documented evidence that is true or not.
If that is true, he's nasty.
Yeah.
Nasty.
Well, no comment on that. James Farrell says, Grumpy, where's Dylan Larkin going? He has to I know he put the Islanders on his list. He could put the Islanders on his list. Detroit, there's nothing that the Islanders have that Detroit wants. Well, there is. It's called Matthew Schaefer, but they're not getting him.
That's very true.
I just think Dylan Larkin is overrated. And I'm probably wrong. Maybe because he plays for that loser team. Couldn't you see him going to Carolina, though? They're not on his list either. I think his list was Vegas, Florida, Minnesota. I think he added the Islanders and 2 other teams. It takes 2 to tango. And here's the thing. Steve Yzerman is not going to get snookered on a deal. He'd rather hold a guy than trade him. He doesn't care. He's still under contract for years.
Yep.
Brian G. Sorry, Brian. I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce your last name. Grumpy, you think we will still suck next year?
I think it's Graysick, maybe.
Maybe. Grumpy, you think we'll suck next year?
We'll have a better record than this year, but we're still going to be bad.
I don't think we're going to make the playoffs. I think will be better than last year points-wise, but will be less fun to watch.
Correct.
James Farrell says, Grumpy, will the Islanders trade up? Or who are they taking at 13? They're not trading up. And we talked about the guys who we're talking about as a possible signings, drafting for them earlier in the show. Freedom Fighter Red says, man, I can't believe the Islanders re-signed Pajot. Yeah, another dumb move by Darsh. Again, a guy you should have moved at the deadline. You move him at the deadline. If he wants to come back, you sign him back. If he didn't, see you later. He's not going to be here when the team is good. That much I can tell you. By the time the team is good and, being a consistent playoff team, he's not going to be here. Neither is Darsh, honestly.
That's very true. And I do want to highlight this. This is comment of the night right here. Sunx, I just wanted to say great job tonight from Drew. That is comment of the night.
Oh, boy. JP says, I have a feeling that Berube might have had something to do with the Wall trade. Well, Berube's been fired. They hired Hiller, who I think used to be the power play coach for the Islanders. He's their new head coach. I don't have much good news for Maple Leafs fans either, honestly.
Yeah.
Drew says, it sounds like TJ just isn't hungry enough to come back on the show unless the being a father life generally is that busy for him.
I'm going to let you know one thing. He is absolutely starving 24/7. That's with the show and in general. But no, it has to do with work.
I mean, he works a lot of hours.
Yeah, it absolutely has to do with work.
Yeah. James Farrell says, guys, thoughts on the Hamilton Hammers? Couldn't they had a better name than the Hammers?
But we went over this, though. Apparently, there is a correlation with the town of Hamilton, so I will give it a pass on that. Originally, I thought it was just like, they're like, hey, Hamilton, Hammers rhymes with Hamilton. Let's just throw this in here. I'll give it a pass, though, since there is a correlation with the actual town. Okay. I'll give it a buy. I'll give it a buy.
Okay, that's fine.
So, and then Drew says, yes, X, we're teammates on this podcast. That's right.
Oh, my gosh. Drew says, pretty sure Carolina was on Larkin's list. I believe the list was Vegas, Minnesota, Carolina, and Florida, from what I remember.
I don't remember seeing Islanders. It was on the list. It was added. It was an additional add-on.
Carolina was added.
And Islanders definitely were added. Yes.
Yeah, it went from 3 to 6.
Yes. They told him he had to expand, essentially, is what they said. So.
Imperial Rising says, Grumpy, $7.1 million in available cap and 2 roster players to sign. Are you excited to see what Darsh does next? SunX, you were an improvement to the podcast, in my honest opinion.
Ooh, wow. Shots.
Wow. Boy, oh boy. That sounds like maybe, I know that's not your handle, is it, X?
That is not a burner account, I promise.
The Islanders need to move some guys off the roster. They have to. I mean, maybe they can move Anthony Duclair and get something for him. They should have moved him already. They should have moved a lot of these guys at the deadline. They shouldn't have gone all in to try to squeak into the playoffs because you know who they would have played in the first round? Who would they played, X?
They would have played the Stanley Cup champions,
and
Hurricanes. I mean, and guess what? We would have been, instead of Ottawa getting swept, it would have been us getting swept.
I think that probably Carolina would have beat us in one game. They just was, okay, that's no mas. Drew says, the Hamilton Hammerheads is more fitting for the way this organization has been run.
Oh, my God. And then this one was pretty funny, too.
Drew says Hamilton Smooth Brains would be more fitting, in my opinion.
All right. And then Drew said, he saw on Twitter, said thanks for the update about the Islanders being added to Larkin's list. And then last comment of the night here, Grumpy.
Good show, guys. Okay. X, we are going to try to do a live draft show next Friday?
Potentially.
Okay.
I have to see. I might have something going on that day. I will have to check.
You have nothing going on.
I might have company coming over, so I'm just letting you know ahead of time.
To do what? To watch some group stage play of the World Cup?
Do what company does when company comes over.
To watch the group stage of the World Cup?
Again, I might have company coming over. I'm not
Albania versus Alcorn State.
What?
Albania versus Alcorn State. I mean, what type of games you want to watch?
That's exact teams I pull for.
But we will have a show next week, regardless. Hopefully, we should always have a draft show, and we can always end it at pick 13 because the lack of creativity from Darsh means we're not trading back.
Agreed.
First round. So.
Agreed.
All right.
All righty. Anything you want to say before the end of the show, Grumpy?
I just want to say love and laughter to everyone who listens and even those who don't, from Son X and the Grumpy Old Man.
I just want to thank everybody for coming out. As always, love the interaction in the comments, and we will see you guys next time. Thanks, Grumpy.